Check, 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 check.
Hi, bro. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Hi guys.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Acho que
مثلا
ايوه ايوه انا مره اخي
ما قريب.
والله سيدر ما تخاف
سيد.
يا فتى
شاب رياضي لا تقال.
اوف رخوك
هم؟
وين رخوك من وين
كيف انت؟
دفيريا
طريقة.
يا والله يزي خام بيمي مايلي
كم ما أخو مثلكم.
هيا 40 في 9 לפני יומיים.
כן, גם אצלנו. אותו דבר לך. קוסם. אי אפשר. פשוט חרא.
מה לעשות. יאללה לילה טובה.
יאללה, גבר. שיהיה לך יום טוב.
אבא,
בן, מה קורה?
אתה צוחקת מעצמך?
أنا؟
مم.
آه בלי אוכל, בלי אוכל, בלי כלום, החטופים. תדבר עם ראש הממשלה, בליז, בליז. אני עם חזב הליכוד.
מה אומר גבר? מה קורה?
בסדר, איך אתה?
בסדר. מה?
Ai, meidän puolen. Tutti, Mad Max mnie, Mad Max Duty.
Hello, Guatemala! Oh, hello.
Hello,
Benny Hill. How you doing?
I'm Mr. Bean.
Benny Hill. It's
You're
so-
live streaming now, right?
Yeah.
What's your YouTube?
Well, I don't need it. It's not for you. The content not for you. Forget about it.
What's going on?
All good, all good. You got a Joker over there. What else? What is there above like the green with the red? Is it the Rick and
Pickle
Morty?
Rick, Pickle Rick.
I love them. Yeah, it's a pickle Rick. Cool. Nice. Very good. You got
אתה מישראל, אתה מישראל, אני רואה שאתה מישראל.
ברור שאתה לא עם אתה. יש לי גם דגל פה. לא רואה. פה. משכנע אותך? ככה משכנע אותך?
משכנע.
יאללה. אז מה, על מה אתה מדבר?
מה, מבטא גובה? איזה גובה של הבחורים?
بقول يا حبيبي شكرا.
شو؟ كيف حالك؟
شباك لك اير.
Det har kommet med meg. Jeg fikk meg skade. Men jeg sitter med en båt. Bro.
מצוין.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Fuck Israel. Fuck.
Nice.
טוסטר. וואי, הנה אני. אילי, תראה אותי משם, אילי.
מה אתה מופתע?
מה, למה לא? זה טוב.
יופי. מאיפה אתם בארץ?
וואלה, אני גבעת שמואל כפרה.
כמה היה אצלכם מעלות? במהלך היומיים האחרונים, כמה היה אצלכם הכי חם?
49.
בוא'נה, אצל כולם, מה זה, אותו חרא, כל הארץ.
כן, מאיפה אתה מוישי?
ליד אילת.
וואו, איפה?
נווה חריף, אם אתה מכיר. נווה חריף זה קיבוץ, ליד סמדר.
מצפה רמון?
נאות סמדר. לא, זה הרבה יותר רחוק ממצפה. זה איזה שעתיים ממצפה. שעה וחצי.
מה? אז אתה קרוב לי יותר לאילת ממצפה רמון?
כן, 80 קילומטר מאילת.
כפרה עליך זה רחוק.
כן. אבל שמע, אצל כולם, עכשיו דיברתי עם מישהו מטבריה, הוא אומר לי 49.
כן.
מרכז הארץ 49, כל הארץ, אחי, אותו מזג האוויר, מה זה החרא הזה?
כן, משהו מוזר.
ואף פעם לא ראיתי דבר כזה, באמא שלי, כאילו, 24 שנים אני בארץ, לא היה דבר כזה, חום כזה בכל הארץ, יעני.
כן. מה, מאיפה באת?
מרוסיה,
רוסיה?
כן.
יפה, יפה.
לא,
אתה אוהב
לא,
את ישראל? אתה אוהב את הישראלים?
בטח. בוודאי. לא כולם, כמובן, אבל בסך הכל, אין לי בעיה. אם אתה לוקח את הסך הכל, את הממוצע, אין לי בעיה עם כולם, כל עם ישראל.
יאללה. יאללה, שיהיה לך שבוע טוב.
גם לך יש. יאללה.
ممكن
מה זה? תודה רבה.
בבקשה.
Hi,
Hi.
Miss Rahim. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What are you talking about with people?
Where are you from? Miss Rahim.
You see, you already said that.
Yeah.
איך קוראים לה שקים...
אודי.
איזה בחדר, אחי.
تشكي فاس.
مازالوا يبدو في الأصنام يا عبدو عيسى هما يا زبي شوف كانك نموت يا شو زبي وين خارج هلا برو
How you doing, guys?
كيقولوا بيا It's good bro
Good.
Where are you from Israel
Yeah.
قول له I am gay قول له I am Palestine
Very good.
Where are you from
Israel.
في فلسطين ونيك ماتكم إسرائيل نيك ماتكم أجمعين
Say it in English.
No do English speak do Arabic ونيك موك القحبة وفيز دي بيد fuck your mother إسرائيل
Okay. Anything else?
Yes it's you're gay
You are you sure?
yes
And even okay.
אתה مش متاح صدقني معنا.
أنا مالي حمزة أنا محلك.
Hey, you're from Palestine?
No, Israel.
Israel? Yes, Israel was a good messenger, but I don't speak about messengers, I speak about the countries.
What? What did you say?
I said yes, Israel was a good messengers, but I don't speak about the messengers. I speak about the countries. Which
Yeah,
country are you from?
right, Israel.
No, Israel. Was a messenger, not a country.
Again, I'm from Israel.
Where is it? Is it in South America?
Look, you can play dumb, but you know where is it? Where is it? Israel, and I'm pretty sure you can point in a moment on a map where is it Israel, because you've got so much hatred to a country you've never been into for some
No, Israel.
for
I
some
know. I
whatever
know that
reason. But
Israel.
listen, you can go suck a dick to
Israel was a
Putin,
messenger
to
of
your
God.
best friend, and continue live in the 11th century with your laws and with your views. It's your problem. It's not my problem. It's
Yes,
your
Israel was
problem.
a messenger of God.
Your problem. You're
The
gonna
son of
continue
Israel.
live in the 11th
Israel was the
century.
son of.
You understand?
Yes, listen.
Okay, bye.
دود هتعيش اليوم بشرفي دود باخده بعض معاك بمر يعني شو
Where are you from?
He's pointing.
Are you streaming?
Yes.
Free Palestine.
Amigo, how you
¿Qué hay,
doing?
hermano? Estás en directo.
I don't understand Spanish. Sorry. You good?
Hola. Good.
Very good. Good luck.
No English, no English.
All right. Bye bye.
Right, right.
Turkey, how you doing?
Fuck you Israel, fuck you tout le monde.
نيكوتين ما sé انا وقعت. hello hello guys hello I be live
אתה בלייב, אבל אף אחד לא צופה.
nice
من البرنامج عادي اشلحها يعني اخذ الانستا واروح على الانستغرام اشلحها دغري.
بكنيك يا اخي جاي من يوتيوب لا
Hey! كمل day one بلوكات ستريمر بويز.
I bet. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, hello. What do you think of Israel?
English?
Yes, English. You speak
No
English?
English.
I'm
Arabic, Pashto, Farsi.
sorry.
Okay, thank you.
You're 41.
Fucking right they are.
What?
Блядь. Hey GPT, I want to, as you can see on the left side, it's my opponent window, and whoever gets in, I can, like, whatever is there is goes on my stream, but I want to prevent people from seeing like naked people or anything like that. How should I approach this in OBS? Maybe some blur window sorts of anything like that, or is there any automatic like solution? Делаем вот такую темку. У нас интро и типа overlay. Интро. Посадить тебя сюда, что ли? Нет. Давай мы тебя... Да, посадим. Нам будешь закрывать это все. Переперду. И все. А, нет, давай-ка. Интро. Не интро. А вот эту тему, да. Есть. heck? Вот как ты, блядь, охуеть можно. Okay. Wait. Cristiano Ronaldo. Speed. Properties again. Just speed. Okay. Nice. Nice. Control L. Control L تمشي. Paste. E. B. Okay. Так, окей.
אתה נוצרי. איך זה עובד? לא יודע, זה מה ש...
Hello,
Hello,
what's
hello.
up?
How you doing?
How are you?
Good.
I'm doing good. I see that you are probably from no, you're from Ukraine. That's right.
No, originally from Russia.
I'm from Russia. And why there is an Ukrainian flag behind you?
Because I support Ukraine.
That's very interesting. And so you are not allowed to return in Russia for this. It is right?
It's not that I'm not allowed, but I always opposed whatever goes in Russia, and especially today, I'm gonna be jailed if I'm going there. So there is no doubt
Because
about it.
I got you. The problem is this. I know a man was married with a Russian, and he told me that he was following the little conflicts that were before the famous 2022 event where Russia attacked Ukraine.
Right.
And he told me that the problem were not like the Russians that wants to expand. He told me that your country revoked the Russian language as the main language, and they started to kill some innocent Russians in Donetsk and Luhansk and the Zaporizhzhia region. In addition, Ukrainian, given the fact that it has always no, sorry, not it has always, it has wanted to join NATO, and given the fact that the secretary of the NATO was so against Russia, he was proposing to Zelensky to put some missile launchers near the border with Ukraine. And you know that Moscow is probably 300 kilometers from the border of Ukraine. You know that I think the Minsk pact was about that NATO should not have amplified his coverage farther than probably Romania.
Yeah.
So I think that in a main problem was made by the United States with with the European countries because of that.
Yeah, I got you. Look, first of all, I got your point, and it's good that you've got some beliefs, but I'm here to spread the lies away and tell the people what actually goes on. Okay, and
Okay.
again, I'm originally from Russia, so as you would probably, if you're gonna look it up on Google or whatever,
Okay.
you most likely gonna find that a very small percentage of Russians, relative to, let's say, to any major countries with the democratic, political system,
Okay.
You have the main party, right, and you have a opposition, and they do whatever they want, and it's a free, like, there is a freedom of speech, freedom of
Yes.
like doing of wherever you want, unless it's against the law. For that we've got the law.
Okay.
And so in Russia it's not like that. In Russia the opposition, it's either quiet or doesn't exist. Meaning they all, like Navalny, you remember this name? You know this name?
Probably the journalist that died.
He's not the journalist, he was a politician. He opposed Putin, and on a flight to Germany he was poisoned with the Novichok poison, which cannot be traced. This is why like it's hard to find it, really hard to find it, as I understood. I didn't look it up much, but this is what I understood. And it's really not that hard to deliver this poison. Like the specialists that do those assassinations, they can pass by you and you're dead. And again, he died in a jail. And
Okay.
and Putin, if I remember right, said that like something in a lines of like it's an unfortunate death, but it happens. People die. Like you understand? Like
Okay.
people like me, Russians and whatever, not Russians, that of course see, majority of them see that something is wrong with this country, like a lot wrong with this country, but we know what's wrong because Ukrainians, majority of them, not majority, but maybe half of Ukrainians at least, visited Russia in some point of their lives. You understand?
Okay.
And Russians not like that. Russians that are closer to Ukraine, yes, visited. Not all of them, for sure. And they think that the propaganda, the Russian propaganda, pushing this narrative of Nazis in Ukraine and wherever, when you can pretty much look it up. What's the agenda of the Zelensky's party right now in Ukraine, it doesn't say anything about I don't know, rejection of Russian language. Because people, like in the trenches, a lot of them actually speak in Russian. You can look it up, like all the Ukrainian side, they release a lot of videos from the trenches, wherever goes on. You hear them speak Russian because they used to Russian. But if you speak about like those instances when people go and, for example, in western side of Ukraine, uh, like they have like they much further like in their beliefs and whatever in the culture from Russians than rather than those who live in Kiev and not like Odessa. It's
Okay.
pretty much been over the years forcefully populated with Russians. All the Donetsk and Luhansk regions been populated with Russians after violent um, instances of deaths of millions of people, Ukrainians. And Ukrainians remember those things. It's not like they forgot to Russians, but like they understand as as a part of civil war. You
Okay.
like you're not carrying your hatred towards whatever happened in the past, right? You openly speak to people and you're trying to communicate and stuff like that. Russians do not, like majority of them. I'd say 75% blindly believe Putin, and it provides, like, it's very hard for to fight this propaganda because 75% of people actually so much believe in this whatever they say on Russian propaganda. And again, you hear just the parts of like you heard the major story, like the major lines of the story of what's going on there, right from the Russian side. But if you look it up and wherever you dig it a little bit more, you're gonna find a lot of for example, you can go on Vice News. There was a Jewish guy, lives in New York, works in HBO, and he covered this conflict on both sides. He was in Crimea after the annexation, during the annexation, and after, maybe, I'm not sure, but he was in all the Luhansk, Donetsk region before the war started. He showed everything
Yes.
that goes on there, and it's simply like watch 3 episodes of his interviews, and I'll let you speak, of course. You're gonna find a lot of things that goes against Russian narrative. Like you're not gonna find there people that not speaking Russian. First of all, you understand? Like they all speak Russian over there.
Yes,
Ukrainians, Russians, all of them.
I tell, I tell you what's the problem. In 2014, I heard the news of what was happening in 2014 to the Russians, and some were being kidnapped and killed by some Ukrainians, and then when this happened when they changed their president, because that there was a president that were pro-Russia. I
Yes, of
don't remember
course.
his name. And then when they changed, and they changed even their mind, focusing on the European Union, they started hating the Russians that were living there, and their people asked to the Russian Federation to help them to have the right of self-determination, even if in Transnistria was the same problem because Moldavia was focusing
Look, but again,
on.
again, listen. This narrative, I know it. Like I heard it
Okay.
1,000 times. So there is nothing new that you can tell me. I'm telling you again. I was born in Russia. I finished school in Russia. When I ask you who won in the World War II, who you ask who actually won like this war?
The USSR, because if it wasn't for the USSR, Auschwitz would not be rescued by the Russians. The Russians, many Ukrainians, Russians, and the Kazakhstan and other countries from the USSR, they helped the world. The world in my country, they are saying no, the United States save us. But if it wasn't for the USSR, we would be probably under German control here in Italy.
Look, first of all, again, same narrative. Like you're like going with the Russian narrative, and I'll tell you why this is very dangerous. Because Italy in the World War II, you remember which side were like were fighting, right? You remember it was
Yes,
on the Nazi side, right?
yes, but in 1943 they changed. They changed in 1943 the side. And what Germany did, Germany invaded, and the troops in Italy, they were they they didn't knew what to do because the prime minister of Italy, he signed, sorry, a declaration with probably Eisenhower, with the general Eisenhower. So the troops didn't know what to do because the Germans were already in Italy,
Let me
and
ask you
so
something.
many.
How I don't remember like much about this part of the history. Did Mussolini leave the like the post or whatever?
I tell you, Mussolini, he was arrested for the order of the king, but then he
You
was
had the king. You had the king then back then.
yes, he was rescued by the Germans
Okay.
because he was arrested, but the Germans came and brought him to
Gotcha.
Germany, and then he returned. And in the north of Italy, in a city that I don't remember, near the Lake of Garda, at the top of the Lake of Garda, he founded a republic, a socialist republic, but in reality was a puppet state of the German Nazis. A Repubblica di Salò, Republic of Salò, you can check.
Gotcha.
So the Republic of Salò was in the north and was a puppet. Sorry, a
Yeah.
puppet of Germany.
Yeah. Okay.
And in the south, the problem what was that the prime minister signed secretly a pact with Eisenhower, the general Eisenhower.
Mm-hmm.
So the Italian troops, they discovered this many days after, and they didn't know what to do. And the Germans were already in Italy because they were, when the Americans invaded Sicily, the Germans came to help Italy defend itself. But when it changed from one side to the other, when this happened, the change, the troops were captured by the Germans, so Italy was fully under the German control. Some went to the concentration camps, some were killed, and in Rome there are many
How many been
statues.
killed? You know?
I don't remember. I can say maybe probably 100k people, probably soldiers were killed. I would say.
Any innocent people, like civilian people, been killed during this?
Yes, many,
How many?
because the Germans in Italy, what they were doing for every German soldier that died, they probably have killed 100 people or 50. I don't remember the exact name. They did this. They did this because when the Italy changed from one side to the other, they started to hate Italians.
Got it. So, in your opinion, and you probably, not probably, but you learned about history of Italy much more than me.
Yes.
How many would you believe, like actually, in like there is no estimate, I believe, but
Okay.
how much you believe trusted Mussolini and like went with him like, oh yeah, Mussolini, right, like into his time. Like
Do
the
you mean
percentage of the whole population, like maybe 25% believe him, and the rest like just because of the totalitarian regime, whatever, just shut it up and you know.
I tell you, probably the 30% of the people initially, but then when he did his propaganda and other things, the 70% I think of the state was with him, and I tell you why. He started with 30% because when he didn't win regularly the elections, he was initially a senator, but then he reunited with many supporters of him, many supporters, and they went to Rome and did a coup d'état. When you overthrow the government, they go and we did a march in the roads of Rome. The prime minister at the time, the Italian prime minister, he tried to sign an executive order to act against these people because he knew from intelligence that these were coming from all across the Italy. But the king refused to sign this order. So the next day, he nominated Mussolini the head of the government. Initially, the government was composed by all the factions, but not socialists, because socialists, before he became senator, he was persecuting them, killing some of them with his troops. And then the people, when he did some, because he saved Italy in some facts, because the economy of Italy was collapsing, he introduced some new regulations and law and tax, and he saved the Italian economy. He increased the occupation,
Since
the
when he was
employment.
in the power? Since what year?
I would say 1926, probably 1926.
From
Or
26?
no, 1926, yes.
From 1926 he was in power?
Yes, because we call it ventennio fascista. Ventennio means 20 years. The fascist 20 years, probably 1924, 1924, I think. 1924 he became prime minister, even before Hitler. So what changed his mind? His mind changed because he was not a Nazi initially, because he didn't hate probably Jews. He was a Catholic, and then he was before an atheist, and then became Catholic to have the Pope with him, because the Pope at the time was with the Nazis, was not with the Americans and the other people.
Oh, gotcha. And how much, how much the political powers Vatican is like? Is it what can they do actually if they wanna do
They
something?
they you know, in Italy, even if Mussolini was a dictator, the Pope and the King were respected more than him by the population, because they were strictly, the majority were Christians, and they were following what the Pope say. And not only in Italy, I think also in France and Germany and other Christian Catholic countries, they were following what the Pope say. It's like, you know, in the past, when the Pope say, go in your country of you, I
And
don't want to say Palestine or
spread
Israel.
the
No,
cross.
like
Yeah,
kill, like kill the Muslims. You know, the Crusades,
gotcha.
first, second, and this. He was not doing this crusade, but he was telling the people, like I think about probably Pope Pope Pio X. I think Pope Pio X say something like the Jews doesn't recognize Jesus Christ, so we don't.
You recognize
Something like
Jesus.
that.
Yeah. And what I had a question second. So let's say, first of all, how come he was on a Hitler side, and whatever the Pope names this time, um, and then the other question.
Okay, so you want to know how he goes to the with Hitler,
Yeah.
basically. It's because, you know, the first country to the first country to go against the international rule was not Germany, was Italy, because when they invaded Ethiopia, they didn't sign a declaration of war. They attacked, worrying about nothing. Okay, so Italy was viewed by the European countries as a criminal country. So no one, Germany at the time, because Hitler came only in the Far East, he became the Führer. Germany before, and Spain and other countries, they wouldn't like the idea to support him because he broke international rules. And in the Far East, when the Germany had Hitler as his Führer, they became closely friends, because, you know, Hitler, when he burned the Reichstag in 1930, I think in February, when he burned the Reichstag to take power, to blame the Jews that they were their fault. He knew that the only countries that would support him was Italy, because Germany was doing everything against the international law, persecuting Jews, blaming the socialists and the Jews of everything that was wrong in Germany. And Putin, no, sorry, and Hitler, he, as you know, he wanted to expand his Germany because he wants a peace. He wants, Poland, Czech Republic. He wants Denmark. He wants to expand his country to all the countries that were ruled before by the Germans. So he doesn't. So if he does something like this, no country would support him but Italy. Italy was the only country that would support him, and their view of the new world that they want to have was practically the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, in my book that I study from, there is written that Hitler, he brought some ideas from Mussolini, because the fact that he was angry was he used the violence against the people was the same of Mussolini. But the idea of hating Jews came from Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Came from Hitler and his famous Mein Kampf. And so you know, 15 September 1935, there is Nuremberg laws from Germany. The year, probably the year after, the year after came the Italians law against the Jewish people. So after Hitler took power, Italy became a puppet of the Nazis. Because when the World War II started, Italy was not so powerful. They tried to invade Greece, but then they were receding. And when the Germans came and helped, they conquered all the peninsula, so Greece and other Kosovo and other countries.
So was it like the target of Mussolini was like to get more land, basically?
It was yes, not only because he wants more money, but to have the people support him more. He was in power, even if the people doesn't want to. He was in power.
I'm saying he probably used those areas he conquered. He probably used people as slaves, let's say. No.
No, I'm not talking about slaves. I'm talking about they would use these countries only for the resource, a sort of colonization, not a sort. We are not talking about a colonization like the Belgium did, where they cut the fingers, of.
So still colonization, and still you probably getting like 60% of whatever they get in is taken. No, like.
Yes, but what was the problem that they conquered before Mussolini was conquered Libya. They didn't know at the time that Libya was full of petrol.
Like oil.
Sorry, oil.
Oil, yeah.
That was. Tell me.
Yeah, no, I just.
And what I have to say about them, that Mussolini, because there was a sort of constitution before he took power, Mussolini, but then he changed all the rules with we call it leggi fascistissime. That means the most fascist laws. He changed all the rules, like the prime minister would have not have the obligation to speak to the parliament if there was something wrong. He should have done it to the king, and the king was in favor of him, so he would not have been removed from his role. And then other rules, like he had the right to choose what would be the next king of Italy, and many other
Mussolini
other
could
rules.
choose who's gonna be the Mussolini could choose.
No, I tell you how. Think like the king has 3 sons. Mussolini could have had the right to say, I advise, and this advice was really important to put him as a king. So tell me.
No, I'm just thinking. Yeah, it's very good. First of all, to meet you, and I could ask those questions from someone who's originally like learned the history in Italian. It's very important, even though I can probably pretty easy read Italian book with Google today, which I don't really do that much. I mostly watch documentary movies, but there are a lot to learn, and it's
Yes,
gonna take
I
a
got
whole
you.
life, I guess. Yeah. So, but anyways, let's focus 1 second on because I learned a lot from you, and it's enough for me
Yes,
to understand the Italy of the World War II. The question, another question: what was
tell me.
the like in any totalitarian regime uh, goes on the wars? So anyone with the state of mind like that, like a Nazi regime and stuff like that, they have to have a enemy. Who was the enemy that they spoke about? Like who was the enemy of this regime, whatever?
Firstly, before Mussolini became a friend of Hitler, the enemies were the socialists, the communists, and their, I don't know how to say, like, in Spain, in Barcelona, there was people that were violent and they wanted the independence. He was against these people, like so socialists, communists, and these violent people that want independence. Maybe in some part of the north of Italy, they wanted independence. But then, when he became friend of Hitler, the main enemies were the Jews, and then the socialists.
Gotcha.
And this is why Hitler invaded Poland, because he told the people to have the people agree with him. He told the people that, seeing that, given the fact that in Poland were living many Jews, and the founder of the socialists was a Jew. He say, we go to Poland, and then we can play with these Jews that created problem in Germany, because Germany
Oh, okay.
because Germany before Hitler came was collapsing. His economy was collapsing, and the first to rule Germany after the World War One were the socialists. The socialists. They had given some lands to France. They didn't do something good for the country, so the economy was collapsing, and the people becoming right from the right side. So they started to hate the socialists because of that, and this is why Hitler we can say he regularly became before uh, chancellor, and then the famous Führer, because he didn't do like Mussolini, a coup d'état, overthrow the government, because he won with the years the trustness from the people. So he became firstly the chancellor, and the president was another. I don't remember his name. He was the president was a general of the World War One. And then when this president died, he succeeded it and became Führer, because the president he has always wanted to become president, because the president could do whatever he wants if there was a war, if he declared a declaration of war. So he became president, obviously not regularly, because before he became president, he changed some rules in Germany. So when he died, he nominated himself first president and then Führer, and nobody could do anything because he changed the rules when he was at the power, because the president gives him the authority. It's like, for example, I don't know how to say. Think that you want to go to the town hall. You want to go to the town hall, but you can't go. So another person goes for you at the town hall. So he did. I don't know how to say this.
On behalf
He,
of, like, on behalf of a
yes,
representative or whatever.
yes, of the president. The president signed some executive orders giving him the power of him, so he can change the rules. And when he became so famous in Germany and so respected, when the president died, he didn't give a crap and declared himself Führer.
So Führer is basically, he can overrule anyone. Like,
Yes. In my book, there was written that when he became Führer, Germany was not Hitler was not representing his people. Germany was represented only by Hitler. So, and Hitler was Germany. Basically, it's like they were saying like that Hitler was Germany and Germany was Hitler. Not everybody.
He basically owed Germany, you're saying. Like, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, yes, like it was written like, if you think like Germany is, if you think like of Germany, you think only about Hitler, and Hitler represent Germany, but not the people.
So let me tell you a story.
Tell me.
First of all, let's come back a little bit, like back to World War II for a moment.
Sorry, are you alive? Only to know.
Yeah, I'm live, but no one watching at the moment. So, like on
Okay.
YouTube, it's in private. On Twitch, no one watching. So it's only for the record. Like, I'm recording and then editing. So, World War II. You, I believe, answered that. In your opinion, Stalin, basically Soviet Union, won Hitler, like defeated Hitler.
Yes.
So, why, if this is the case, why all of the allies signed the capitulation of Nazi Germany on the 8th of May, and the Soviet Union did it by itself with Germans on 9th of May, on their side of Germany?
Can you repeat, sorry, the question?
You remember the document that they signed? Like, you've seen this document that they signed, all of the allies with the Germans on 8th of May.
Of what year?
45.
When 45. You are talking about the Yalta Declaration, or
no? It's Yalta was no, 45. It was a signature of all of the allies in Nazi Germany. Not all of the allies, not all of the allies, but USSR and Germany signed a capitulation, a document together that said that Nazi Germany capitulating, and they give all the power to whoever rules over whatever area. Like, I haven't read all the document, but I've seen the part of the signatures.
I got you. Maybe you are talking about the Declaration of Casablanca that was before 1945, probably in 1943.
No, not the declaration. The capitulation of.
You are talking about
Nazis.
the division of Germany in two parts.
No, I'm talking about when all of the Allies and the USSR finished with Germans, with Nazis. All right.
Okay.
Hitler died, killed himself, whatever. No one knows how. No one really
On April,
knows. No
yes.
one really found his body. So, like maybe it was burned, like, and this is why you haven't found anything, because back then you couldn't like trace anything out of the ash. So, uh, I don't remember even who actually signed the document, because most of the top just killed himself. They killed themselves, right?
Yes.
So it's probably weren't the people that were that much important as Hitler, but still officers in SS and wherever. But the signature was like all of the allies and Germans said, okay, on 9th of May, we're sitting together and we're reading whatever claims the Allies got to Germany and Soviets got to Germany, whatever. And the document, the signatures, they mention all of the Allies, the French army, British army, USA army, wherever, Australia. Maybe I haven't read all of the signatures, but what was I looking for is the signature of Soviet side, and there was
I got
the
you.
Soviet side was expected there, because there was a line that says a representative of a Soviet Union, of a Red Army, whatever, and there was it was the only place there was no signature on this document. So the signature
I got you.
happens on 9th of May. Soviets sat together with only Germans, none of the other representatives of any country whatsoever, and they got this document. What is the
I
reason,
got
in
you.
your opinion?
I got you. Of what are you talking about? What happened to basically what happened to Germany after the World War II? And you are talking about the firstly there was the division of the Germany in a part for
The
USSR,
division,
a part.
it's whatever. It's
Yes,
just
you
the
are talking. You
what
are talking
they decide.
about you are talking about the unification of the German side by the West countries, because USSR was not informed by United States, Great Britain, and France about the unification of their occupied territories in Germany, because they has they said that they had always wanted to ha- to to make the German live in a German country, not in a German country divided by French, by British,
Okay.
and by
Okay.
Americans.
I got it. So you're saying all of the allies they decided that they want to unify everything, and like
Yes, and
they're gonna be there, but they're gonna look for the peace to be peaceful, and
yes,
not gonna do
at
about
least
it everything. Okay.
it is what is written in my book,
Okay,
and
it makes a
so
lot of sense. Makes a lot of
yes,
sense. Soviets didn't wanted that. They wanted to rule over whatever territory they got through the war, and losing Germany was a disaster for them.
I tell you, in my book there is written that was made in secret, and that the USSR was not informed, and this is a reason a reason why the Cold War started. In
No, no,
fact,
no.
there
Listen,
was
listen. If they expected a representative of the Red Army to sign on this document, they actually wrote this like, here's the place for you, guy, buddy, whatever. But if they didn't wanted to do anything with USSR, when they all fought together against Nazi Germany, and the state of mind of everyone who fought this war was a peace after this war. Everyone
I
but
tell you,
Stalin, but Stalin.
I got you. The problem, what are basically true, why they didn't invite the USSR, and I tell you what is written.
Can I rob you for 1 minute? I'll bring another drink and I'll be back.
Okay, okay.
Just a second.
Расцветали огни груш, попыли туман над рекой, выходила на берег Катюша. This is a song not only for the Ukrainians, but not only for the Russians, but also from the Ukrainians, the people from Kazakhstan, and the people from all the countries that were in the USSR or in the CCP. How do you call it? Here.
All right, I'm with you.
Okay. As I tell you, sorry, this is not okay. The problem, what was the problem? The problem, what were, sorry, because there was not only a single one. The first is that, Churchill was not a pro-socialism. He was against socialism and communism. He didn't like Stalin. He only helped him and the United States because they were going against the worst of their enemies, Hitler. So it's like saying,
my enemy is
your
enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes, but when the enemy died, who became the enemy? The USSR.
Back again, yeah.
This is the first. The second is the United States didn't want that the European countries would become communist countries because they are capitalists and they don't like this communism.
Yeah.
The third is that what happened. Now you know what happened in the Revolution of February and the Revolution of October with Lenin.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want something to happen like this in the European countries nor in the United States. So to reduce this problem, they should not have allied strictly with the USSR because they don't want something like that happened to happen in the United States or in the European countries. Mm-hmm. Because you know that these revolutions were not so diplomatic, were really violent. Mm-hmm. Really violent against the governments and some people. There were, we call it Brigate Rosse e Brigate Bianche, like something in history, when in history were like the white faction against the red faction after Lenin took power, like a civil war. So they didn't want something like this to happen. Mm-hmm. And from the USSR part, what were the problems? The USSR economy was collapsing because of the war. The second problem is that they were afraid of the capitalism because they have seen this capitalism as an enemy for their economy and for their countries, because they didn't want to make this satellite, their country's satellite, like Lithuania, Lithuania, and the actual and other countries such as the actual Ukraine, to see the how beautiful is the capitalism. They want these places to be with them, and this is why they didn't invite the Russians. They didn't want a Germany a communist Germany. They decided to reunite all their occupied territories in the so-called federal Germany, the federal Germany. I think it is called like this, and federal Germany. I'm talking about the west side of Germany. The right side was under USSR occupation, but then they declared the democratic Germany, Republic of Germany. Okay, but in reality was a satellite of the USSR. And then there was the famous speech of Churchill. We call it La Cortina di Ferro. It's like the line that divides the world of the West from the world of the East. And from this event, the people call it like the start of the Cold War between the countries, because USSR constructed the walls in East Berlin. They blocked the trucks coming from the West Germany, and this is why they didn't sign this, because they were not called by the other allies. As I said, Churchill was hating socialism and communism. He was a hater of this, and even the United States. And the second is that if they would have been called, they would have not signed this, because of the danger. They think of a danger from capitalism, and because they were afraid of the USSR being splitted in part because of the capitalism.
Okay, look.
So
Look.
Tell me.
Yeah. All of the rest, and I already understand. Like I know the parts of the history, but some things that you're saying make a lot of sense. Like, yes, it doesn't make sense for Soviet Union to come to this meeting, even though the signature, like the place for the signature was there on the document. That's it's saying for me, it's meaning for me that yes, there was an invitation, but it was ignored. And then on the 9th of May, Soviet Union signs the document of their own and declare that they won. Like, look, they call it the holy, like holy fatherland war. Okay.
Okay.
Like not holy, but a great fatherland war. Instead of like, if you ask any Russians, they don't see any difference between World War II and this war. For them, it's the whole same story. For them, they don't even know all of the fronts, but the Soviet Union against Nazis. They don't know almost nothing about China, Japan, wherever. Like, and again, the whole history, if you're gonna dig further, like, and I trust you're gonna do this because you're a curious person and you learn a lot. And look, you just learned one side of the spectrum.
No, I tell you, I swear on God, I can send you the videos where I learned from, or my book pages. They are made by
Yeah,
HR. They are made by Italians.
yeah, I understand. But again, a lot of people in the world, like you could ask Americans, you could find Americans that today support Russia, Putin. Like they say, hey, Putin a great guy, he's strong, he's like. It's a generation of freaking TikTok and Instagram, man. Like people care about how you look and how you fucking move. This is what they care. They don't
Okay.
care what's going on there. That's it. We lost it. We lost this. We losing the civilization because of these types of like. I'm not saying that we should stop produce content that only like. And again, I believe that maybe most of the people that actually use their bodies to make money like this, I say, all right, you got your niche, you should use it
I
and
tell
make a lot of
you,
money. I'm not telling no, but all of the people that watch this shit, like a Big Brother, you know this program, like you probably got it in
yes,
Italy also.
yes.
So it's freaking you should be so fucking stupid to watch this thing. Like maybe you know what? I'm not saying like in some parts of the world it could be even some philosophical conversations and what's not. Like it's like watching a streamer, right? I'm not saying like don't watch streamers. A lot of them like funny and a lot of them say a lot of like
I tell you a thing
yeah.
about Stalin. Stalin, before he went against the Germans, he was with them because of the Molotov-Ribbentrop
Yep.
pact. He was with them, but then when they betrayed him, invading the country, he went against them. But when the enemy was defeated, they continue with the other enemies,
All
with the
right.
Cold War.
So look in the prism. Like I understand that right now we aligned in the amount of knowledge. You educated a lot today. Like
Thank you.
we talked a lot, but and thank you for educating me about Italy and some parts of the World War II because, of course, I cannot consume all the knowledge in my free time, but wherever. like again,
I tell
those
you, I tell you,
conversations help a lot. Yeah.
I think about before I talked about Yalta, because in Casablanca they decided to the to the future of the world,
Mm-hmm.
but also in Yalta is the most important event because after Yalta, the Cold War happened after Yalta because they decided to divide Germany in these influence zones. As I said, a French part, a British part, an American side, and then the USSR. But then the problems, as I said, started when you talked about the declaration, because they united, but the USSR, I swear on God, when I heard that, were not invited and warned about that they were going to sign a declaration to unite Germany. You can check, look for unification of Germany. Ask ChatGPT maybe. Ask ChatGPT
Yeah,
maybe
let's go.
they would.
Yeah, that's right. Like it's much faster. Oh my God. Just a second. Oh shit.
Do
Yeah.
you hear me?
I hear
Okay.
you. You can hear me? Because
Yes.
it did the
Ask
sound of a disconnection and I connected through the phone and okay, let me see. All
yes.
right. Never mind.
Ask ChatGPT. Do the Cold War happened if the no? I wait a moment. Ask about. Ask if the USSR was invited when British, French, and American
I know
decided
what
to.
Hey GPT, tell me something. Was the USSR invited to for a signature on 8th of May 1945 when all the allies met the Nazi party and for to sign the document of defeation?
But I'm not talking about this. Maybe I'm talking about the unification. I'm hearing.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we are talking about another pact. Ask him if USSR was invited for the unification of the east of the Germany.
Was
or not?
the USSR invited for the document that talks about unification of the whole Germany,
By Americans,
the whole
British, and the
Germany,
French?
and the USSR also. They wanted the USSR to be the same, right? Side.
Yeah, ask ChatGPT. Did ask no, not 1990. I'm not talking about 1990. I'm talking about. Wait a moment. Ask this. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
After the Yalta Declaration, did USSR, was USSR invited by France, United States, and British to sign an order to reunite the German in the 1946, I think? Because I'm not talking about the 19.
No, I don't. Listen, I do not care about 46. I'm talking about only 8th of May.
8th of May. What's the name of
45.
the declaration? Can you ask?
Yeah.
Can you ask ChatGPT?
Hey, what was the document that Allies signed about capitulation of Nazi Germany, and there was a place for a signature for a Red Army representative, and he didn't sign, like there was no one there on the Soviet side. May 7. Okay, continue.
Essentially, they wanted a more formal and symbolic signing that would really underline the Soviet role. So while there was a signature in Reims, it was kind of done with the understanding that there would be another, more official ceremony in Berlin. That second signing in Berlin on May 8th, or May 9th Moscow time, is the one where the Soviets were fully represented, and it became the more final symbolic act of surrender. So in a nutshell, that first document in Reims did have a Soviet representative, but it was the Berlin signing that really sealed the deal with everyone fully on board.
Yes, but I just found a document that a page with the signatures have a Soviet. There was none of the signatures of the Soviet side, but all of the other allies. So what date was document signed on? That wasn't signed by Soviets. The problem is it could be that. It could be that the databases that GPT was trained on so much infested with the Soviet propaganda that he.
No, I tell you, no. Is is founded by a Jew. It can't be so Soviet.
What is the
Ask
name of this
Gemini.
document?
Ask.
Not you. Shut up. Give me a moment.
Maybe you can ask Gemini.
Okay, let me just to put it on the stream.
Okay.
Okay, you want me to read it for like maybe you want to hear it also?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We, the undersigned, acting by authority of the German High Command, hereby surrender unconditionally to the Supreme Commander, Allied Expeditionary Force, and simultaneously to the Soviet High Command, all forces on land, sea, and in the air who are at this date under German control. Second, the German High Command will at once issue orders to all German military, naval, and air authorities and to all forces under German control to cease active operations at 23:01
Okay.
hours Central European Time on 8th of May, and to remain in the position occupied at that time. No ship, vessels, or aircrafts
I got you.
to be. Just let me. Okay.
Finish.
Third, the German command will at once issue blah, blah, whatever. The act of military surrender is without prejudice to and will be surrendered by any whatever. Let me see. How can I say the second part? Okay, there is a end to this. The fifth, in the event of the German High Command of any of other forces under their control failing to act on accordance with this act or surrender, the Supreme Commander, Allied Expeditionary Forces, and the Soviet High Command will take such punitive or other action as they deem appropriate. Signed 8 at Rima, France, 7th day of May 1945, on behalf of the German command, whatever, on behalf of Supreme Commander, Allied Expeditionary Forces, Soviet. Okay, something else. I didn't see I seen this document without the signature. That's funny. This is the question now.
So.
Okay,
So
why
this document.
there is the same document? I gotta check. Still, I have this whole history because I've seen it today. So I will check what's the source of the other document that doesn't have the signature, and why is that? Why
I
is
tell you,
this one have?
probably
You understand? Like
probably is it was edited this without the sign with Photoshop, because there are many documents that were faked. Even in the United States, some
the
people
question
claimed to
is
be
edited from which state to which state? You understand? Because
I
we can
got you,
Photoshop
and
to both sides. You understand? Like
I think that from this side it would be done by the West countries, and I tell you why. To say that the Soviets were bad people if you want to say that they were bad people and they don't do any so in particularly good things, you can show them with this document that the USSR didn't sign the capitulation of Germany.
But again,
So the people would
look,
say,
no. Look, I'm on .com. If West wanted this signature to be erased from any place, it would be erased from any place. Soviet, it doesn't make sense. You gotta think a little. It doesn't make sense for a Soviet, for Americans to say, hey, you see, they didn't come. They didn't come. We won. Americans don't say we won. They say we won as a civilization, not as a fucking Americans. Not fucking, sorry, but it's as a figurative speech. But what I'm saying is that
I have 1%.
I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure that
I
this
have
signature.
1% of.
Sorry, yeah. So look,
Tell me.
I learned a lot, but I gotta tell you, it's all lies. If you're looking at the Russia and Soviet side, you gotta look for holes that people go through and stay in the state of mind that Soviets is a great state and Russians are great people and so on. Russians did a lot of terrible, horrifying fucking things, the whole fucking Russia history. All the time.
I tell you, when we are talking about the USSR, the first, when there was the revolution of February and of October, these events started before in Ukraine by Lenin, because the Russian Empire born in Ukraine, born from the territories of the actual Ukraine, and then expanded.
Yeah, but the Russians,
And
if
the
you
first,
ask Russians, this is part of the history, But what Russians do not know, they think that Lenin fucking invented Ukraine. Invented. Are you fucking? You gotta listen to Russians. This is what you're losing now. Yeah, because you got 1%. You're losing Russian language. You should listen to what the fuck they saying. They saying insane fucking things whole fucking time since the beginning of the war. Whole fucking time. Before that, it was a sleeping monster. And
okay,
all of the time that they peaceful, it's a sleeping monster. All of the times. We need to destroy this monster. So thank you. Anyways, for the history lesson, I learned a lot, man. Seriously.
Thank you. I appreciate it from your side what you said. I don't agree completely, because, as you know, you can say that all the Russians are like this, and I tell you, in my opinion, there are many.
Oh my god.
О, я сам себя вижу.
Да, видишь какая. Технология.
Технология.